Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're all well. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make this big 3D beaded strawberry. I have made quite a lot of different strawberry tutorials, so if you want all the way down to like a tiny one and then gradually getting bigger, I've got lots of different strawberry tutorials. So I will put a link for my strawberry playlist below if you want to look at any of my other ones. So this one is bigger, but obviously I'm using bigger beads for this one than normal. To make this one, you're going to need some size 6 seed beads in red. So these are a check preciosa, just bright red seed bead. And then you'll need some green seed beads in size 8. And this is preciosa white lined lime. And then you'll need a different size, so size 11 for the little seeds. So you can use round hex cut or delica beads for this. I'm using this really nice hex cut bead. So this is a Miyuki hex size 11. The colour is 075. It's silver lined crystal AB. And then you'll need a beading needle. So I'm using a size 12 beading needle. And look how cute this is. Isn't that the cutest thing? So that's what it's called if you want to search that. And this just came with 2 size 12 and 2 size 10 beading needles, and I just thought that was so cute. I just got it from like my local, it's not even a craft shop, it just kind of sells everything. But you could probably find this online. Anyway, you'll also need some beading thread. I do recommend using fireline or something that's, I don't know, quite structured when you use it, quite stiff, if you know what I mean, so it holds its shape. Because these are big heavy beads, there's the chance that it can collapse in because it's hollow in the middle. You could use a more lightweight thread and then put a stuffing in the middle before you close it up completely to hold the shape if you don't have a fireline. I'm going to be using £6 fireline in crystal. If you want to attach this, I will show you up here is the point at which you'll attach a jump ring to attach it to whatever you want. You'll also need that, of course, as well. Let's get started. We'll start by threading your needle onto your thread and then pick up 6 of your red seed beads. Slide those down till you've got about 6 inches left on the end of your thread, and then I'm just going to hold them all here like this. You want to sew back up through all 6 of those to create a circle. If you go down through it this way, they're just going to ping off the thread. You need to be making a loop. So go up through all 6 of those, and then back through the first one again, so it kind of brings it back into a circle. Pull it nice and tight, and you should have this. So from each of these 6 beads, we're going to create a right angle weave unit, which is 4 beads in a group, and they're all going to share some beads as well. So starting with the first one, you're going to pick up 3 red, and we're coming out of this bead on this side. You're going to go into that bead on the other side and through the next one in the circle. So that's your little right angle unit. So with this next one, we're going to share this bead on the side, and we've already got this one on the bottom, so we're just going to pick up 2. So coming out of this one here, you're going to go down through that bead on the side of that previous unit, through the one that we're coming out of already, and through the next one in that original circle. So you have this, picking up 2, same thing again. So coming out here, you're going to go down through that bead on the side of that previous unit, across through the one that you're coming out of, and through the next one in the circle. Each time pulling it really tight. So we have this, and again picking up 2, going down through that one on the side of the previous unit, through the one that we're coming out of, and through the next one in the circle. again picking up 2, and the same thing again, down through the one on the side, back through the one that you're coming out of, and through the next one in the circle. Okay, so this is going to be our last one. So from here, this last group is going to share one from either side. So we're going to, from here, move up through the one on the side of this first unit that we created. Then picking up just one this time and going down through the side bead on this previous one, across through the one on the bottom, and then right back up through that one where we're starting. Pull that through and pull it tight. And you should have this. We're going to, from here, move forward through one bead, this one here on the top. This time we're going to pick up 2 beads and going through that next one that's sitting on the top. So you've got the 6 beads that are sitting at the top of those groups of 4s that we created. So we're coming out of this one, you're going to go through that next one on the top. Picking up 2 and going through the next one on the top. Oops. Pick up 2, go through the next one. Picking up 2, going through that next one on the top. And picking up 2, going through the next one on the top. And this is going to be the last 2, so picking up 2 again. Now here is where we added, if I just pull them out, the first 2 in this row. So, oops. You're coming out of this one, you skip that one underneath, go through the next one, pull it back tight, and up through the 2 that we added at the start. And then you want to pull that really tight. So for this row, we're going to be placing beads in these gaps here between the groups of 2, and also a bead right down the centre of each of the groups of 2 as well. So we're doubling the amount of beads in the row to 12. So picking up your first one, coming out of here, skipping over one, go through the next one. So you're now out of the centre of that first group of 2. So then you're going to pick up one and go straight down through the next bead. So you're alternating that every time. So this time picking up one, skipping over one, going through the next one. Oops. And then you're between a group of 2, so picking up one and going straight through the next bead. Again, picking up one, skipping over one, through the next one, and picking up one and going straight through the next bead. Picking up one, skipping over one, through the next one, picking up one and straight through the next bead. Pick up one, skip over one, go through the next one, pick up one and go straight through that next bead. Picking up one, skipping over one, through the next one, and this is going to be the last bead. So pick up your last one and you're coming out of this one, go straight through the next bead and up into that one above. Okay, now that doesn't want to fit, just pull it till it pops into place. So you have this. So for the next few rows, we're just going to be doing some regular peyote stitch, which means we're going to pick up a bead, skip the one underneath and go through the next one. Pick up a bead, skip the one underneath, go through the next one. And we're going to be adding 12 beads in a row. So starting with your first one. So a little tip, if you struggle to work out when you've got to the end of the row and when you need to step up into the next row, before you start a row, what you can do is count aside the 12 beads that you'll need for the row and just pick up from this separate pile. So once you've used all 12 of those, you know you're at the end of the row and you need to step up. Hopefully that makes some sense, because sometimes it can get a bit confusing about when you're actually at the end of the row. But yeah, so starting by picking up one, skipping over one and going through the next one. Pick up one, skip over one, go through the next one. That's 2, pick up one, skip over one, go through the next one. So you're just going to do that all the way around, like I said, until you've added all 12 of those beads, and then I'll meet you back here. Okay, so I'm just adding my 12th bead, so that last one, you're coming out here, skip over one, go through the next one as normal, and then up into that one above. You don't want to skip and go straight up into the one above, or you'll mess up your pattern. So through the one and the one above, like that. Pull it tight, but it's going to kind of sit flat and wavy at the minute. Don't worry about that, it's all going to come together. So this next row is exactly the same. 12 beads again, picking up one, skipping over one, going through the next one, pick up one, skip over one, go through the next one. Don't pull it really tight until you get to the end. So go ahead and add the 12 beads again, and I'll join you back around here. Okay, so I'm back around there again and again. I'm adding that last bead, so I'm skipping over one, going through the next one, and then stepping up. So don't forget to step up into the bead above, which is the first bead you added in that row, so that you're on the top row. Then you can pull it tight. So we have this, and we're going to do another row exactly the same. Picking up one, skipping over one, going through the next one. Again, this time don't pull it tight until you get round to your last bead, and then you can pull it really tight. So go ahead and add 12 beads again in the same way. Okay, so I'm adding that 12th bead and stepping up into the bead above. As always, don't forget to step up and then pull it tight. So we have this, and it's going to start to curve up like that, and you're going to do one more row of doing that same thing. It starts to get a little bit harder to see which beads are on the top row, but as long as you follow the rule of, so you pick up one, you're coming out of this one, you're always going to skip the next one and go through the one after that, which is just slightly above the one below. It's harder to see now. As long as you skip one through the next one, skip one through the next one, you should be good. So go ahead and add 12 beads again in that same way, and I'll meet you back round here. Okay, so I'm adding that 12th bead again, so coming out here, skipping over one, going through the next one, and then step up into the one above. Make sure you move up through that one above before you carry on. Pull it really tight. Okay, so I have this. So for this next row, we're going to be decreasing back down from 12 beads down to 6. So you're coming out of this one here, you're going to pick up one, and this time you're going to go through the next 2 on the top row. So skipping over one and through the next one, and then without picking up a bead, skipping the next one and through the one after that. So you're going through the next 2 on the top row. Pull that through, and at the end of the row, when we pull it tight, where we've got this thread here with no bead, it's going to pull the 2 beads together, and that's what closes it up. Okay, but we're not going to pull it too tight yet, because it will just keep bouncing back open. So then picking up one, skipping over one through the next one, skipping over one and through the one after that as well. And again, picking up one, skipping over one, through the next one, skipping over one, and through the next one. This is number 4. Skip over one, go through the next one, skip over that one, and through the one after that as well. Like that. Okay, this is number 5. Coming out here, skip over one, through the next one, skip the next one, through the one after that. And this is the last one, so just follow those same rules. Skip over one, through the next one, skip over one, through the one after that. Like that, and then up into the one above as well. And then when you've done that, you can pull it nice and tight. It's going to start to close in like that. So now we're going to be picking up groups of 2. So picking up 2. So we're coming out of this bead here. You can kind of see there's the 2 below that we cinched together. You're going to skip 2, go through the next 1. Pick up 2. Coming out of this bead here, you're going to skip the 2 underneath and go through the next 1. Picking up 2, skipping the 2 underneath and through the next 1. Pick up 2, skip the 2 underneath through the next 1. Pick up 2, skip the 2 underneath through the next 1. And finally, picking up your last group of 2, skipping the 2 underneath through the next 1 and up through the 2 that you added at the start of this row. Like that. And then you're going to pull that nice and tight. So you have this. So this time we're picking up single beads again, so picking up 1. So we're coming out here, going to skip over 1 and go through the next 2. So we're moving through those groups of 2. And picking up 1, skipping over 1 and going through the next 2. Pick up 1, oops, skip over 1, go through the next 2. Let's go ahead and do that 3 more times. It's 1, 2, and 3, and on the last one you also need to step up into that bead above as well, which was the first bead we added in this row. So just make sure you're coming out of there before you continue. Pull it nice and tight. Now we have this. This time we're going to alternate between picking up 2 and then 1. So start by picking up 2. Coming out here, you're skipping over 2, going through the next 1. And then you're going to pick up 1, again skip over 2 and go through the next 1. So you're just alternating that all the way around. So picking up 2, skipping over 2, going through the next 1. Picking up 1, skipping over 2, through the next 1. Pick up 2, skip over 2, through the next 1. Oops. And picking up 1, skipping over 2, through the next 1, and up through the 2 above, because they're the first 2 that we added in this row. Pull that through, and again pull it nice and tight. Now we're going to just add single beads this time. So picking up 1, skipping over 1 and through the next bead. Picking up 1, skip over 1. This time you're going to go through the next 2 because you've got that group of 2 that we did in the row below. Picking up 1, skipping over 1, through the next 1. Pick up 1, skip over 1, through the next 2. Picking up 1, skipping over 1, through the next 1. And picking up 1, skipping over 1, through the next 2. And that's the last one in the row, so up into that single bead above as well. And again, give it a real nice pull tight. Now as we have this, so this time we're going to decrease back down to 3 beads, but we've got these gaps here where we've got gaps of 2 beads, and then we've got gaps where we've got 1 bead, if you see what I mean. So there's a gap of 2 here, and then just a gap of 1. So we're going to start by, without picking up a bead, skipping over 1 and going through the next one, like that. And then we're going to pick up a single bead, skip over 2 and go through the next one. The reason I do it that way around is so that we're not trying to cinch together this huge gap. Instead, we're only cinching together the space of 1 bead. So skipping over without picking up a bead again, skipping over 1 and through the next one. And here where we've got the gap of 2 beads, we're going to reduce it down to 1. So pick up 1, skip over 2, through the next one. Without picking up a bead, skip over 1 and go through the next one. And then finally picking up one, skipping over two, through the next one, and the one after that where we've got that thread, just follow that through. And then you can step up into that bead above the first one we added in this row. Pull that nice and tight. So we have this. Now on your piece it's probably going to be easier to see than on camera, but you've got these 1, 2, 3 beads in the middle. They're the ones you're going to be going through here. So picking up one, I'm going to skip these 2 here that are cinched together and go through the next one. Pick up one, oops, skip these 2 through the next one, and finally picking up one, skip the 2 here through the next one and up through the one above as well. So we have this. Now you just want to circle through those last 3 beads. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say, at this point, if you are using the looser thread and it's not holding its shape, you want to just open this back out a little bit, and you can put your stuffing or whatever it is you're going to use in the middle before you really close it up, or you can even remove that last row of beads and do it again. But yeah, at this point, it's the last point at which you can put something in the middle to stuff it. Later, when we add the seeds on the side, you need to be able to pierce all the way through like that. So just make sure whatever you stuff it with, you're going to be able to still do that. Okay, and then circle through these a few times to bring it together. So we have this is our basic shape. Now to get back up to the top where we're going to add the green part, what's really important now is it's quite loose to feel like quite squidgy and soft. So to get back up to the top, I literally circle up and around every single row as best as I can, going through almost every bead again. I know that sounds like it's going to take ages, and it does, but I promise you, once you start going through the rows, you'll really feel the difference. It really does make a huge difference in how it feels. It will feel like completely solid when you do that, rather than this kind of jiggly mess. So go ahead and do that. It doesn't matter if you don't get every single bead. You don't have to be super precise. You'll feel the difference anyway. As you go up and around, just get as many as you can. And what I mean by that is from here where you are coming out of, up through this one, that one, up, down, if you see what I mean, as you go along, up, down, and you'll just keep going round and gradually up if you do that. And then make your way all the way back up to this original circle of 6, which is where your tail thread will be coming out of, so you'll be able to find that easily. And I'll meet you back up here. Okay, so once you've done that, then you're at the top. What you want to do is take your needle off of your working thread and then thread it onto your tail thread. We're just going to get rid of the tail thread so that it's out of the way. So once you've threaded it on, then we're starting up here at the top. And I'm just going to move through a few beads and down into the strawberry. It doesn't matter exactly where you end up. I just want to move away from the top. And then to tie a knot, you're going to take your needle under the thread that connects your bead to the next bead, like that. And then pull that needle through to create a loop and go through the loop twice before you pull it down and pull it really tight. And then always move away from your knot before you cut your thread. You can tie some more knots as well if you like. Then you can cut off your tail thread and then thread your needle back onto your working thread. So next you want to pick up one of your green beads, and your working thread should be here in one of these beads in that original group of 6. So we're coming out of that one in that direction. You want to go into the one opposite, so 3 beads around in the same direction, like that, so from top to bottom. Then you're going to go up through that bead you just added, and now it's connected on both sides to that bead, but only on one side to this other bead. So you want to go through it onto the side that's not connected, if that makes sense. So now it's connected on both sides, so it's going to sit nice and central. Then you're going to pick up one and go straight through the next bead in that original circle of 6. Pick up another one and through the next bead in that 6. And another one and go through the next bead in that 6. So you're going to keep going, adding 3 more beads until you've got 6 in total in between those original 6 red beads that you had. Like that. And when you get to the last one, step up into the first green bead that you added. So now we're going to create the green spike. So to do that, you're going to pick up 7 of your green beads, and coming out of this green bead in this direction, so you're going to go into the next one along in the circle, like that, and then you're going to pick up another 7 green beads and going into the next green bead in the circle of 6. So you're going to do that 4 more times until you've got your 6 loops created, like this, and you should be finishing by coming out of one of those central 6 green beads here. So what you're going to do next is move down through the first 3 beads in this first spike that we're creating, and then you're going to skip the 4th bead and go up through the final 3 beads and also through that one that's connected at the top. And when you pull that through, you should be able to see that thread pops underneath that 4th bead and creates the spike. So now you're going to move into the next spike, so up through the first 3. Again, skipping the 4th bead and going down through the final 3 and into the one that connects it to the middle. And again, make sure that your loop sits underneath that bead so it creates the point. So go ahead and do that on all the other 4 spikes and I'll meet you back. Okay, so you should have this. So now we're going to create the stalk. So from here you need to move through into one of the red beads so that you're back in that central 6 group of red. And then what you need to do from wherever you are is you need to move around to the red bead that's connected to that green bead in the middle. So one of those red beads either side that's connected to the green bead. Just make sure you're coming out of that one so that we can move easily into the green bead without creating any more visible threads. So from there you're going to move into the green bead. So I'm coming out the top, so I'm going to go down through the top of that green bead like that. Now we're going to create our stalk, so you're going to pick up 9 of your green beads, unless of course you want a longer or shorter stalk, it's completely up to you. But this is just how I did it for the example that I showed you. So we have this, and then you're going to skip those last 3 beads and go down through the remaining beads. Now if you want to add a jump ring at this point to attach it, now you're going to add that in here with these 3 at the top, keep that separate, and then go down through the rest of the beads so that your jump ring will be part of that little loop we create at the top. If you find that when you pull it down your beads separate like this away from the piece, just hold those last 3 beads in your fingers as you pull it down, and that should tighten up towards the strawberry. So now we're connected on this side to the green bead, so to centre it you're going to go back into that green bead at the top of the strawberry on the side that it's not yet joined to. And that's just going to make it sit nice and central. Now what you can do is go back up through all 9 of those beads, up and around and back down. Especially if you're adding a jump ring, you want to do that to make sure it's really secure up there and it's not going to slip through the thread. So go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you how to add the seeds. Okay, so I've gone through those again. So before you add the seeds, what you want to do is just move down through the red bead that you're connected to with that green one. And then you want to move back down into the strawberry, further down the strawberry. So it could be a bit tricky because you've got your leaf there now, but just find the bead that you need to go through next to the one that you're coming out of. It can be hard to see, but if you can just manoeuvre your way down like that, just so that your thread is coming out somewhere further down the strawberry. It doesn't matter exactly where. So this is where I'm going to add my first seed. So now I'm going to pick up one of my size 11 beads, and wherever your thread's coming out of, you want to take your needle and pierce it through to the other side, so it comes right out the other side, So pull that through, make sure it sits nicely like that. Now going around to where your thread's now coming out of, wherever it comes out of, you want to go through a bead right there where it's coming out from. Then you're going to pick up another one of your size 11s, and again, from where you are, poke your needle right through to the other side, kind of guide it through to where you want your next seed to be, and pull that all the way through, making sure that your bead on this side sits nicely again, and then repeat the process. So moving through a bead next to where you're coming out of, and then picking up your size 11 and poking it through right next to where your thread's coming from, through to where you want your next bead to be. And you're just going to keep repeating that process until you've got as many seeds as you like, and then we'll tie our knots and be finished. So I've added all the seeds that I want for my strawberry. So once you've done that, so you're going to tie your knots. So wherever you're coming out of now, you want to move through a bead so that you're back onto the main piece, and then just tie a knot like we did earlier by taking your needle under the threads that connect your bead to the next bead. So you catch those threads and go through the loop that you create 2 times. And then tie as many knots as you can with whatever thread you have remaining, and move away from your knot, your last knot, before you cut your thread, and then we'll be all finished. So once you've cut off your threads, then that's your strawberry all finished. So this is how it turned out. So I think it's really cute. It's actually kind of heavy. I think because of the size 6 seed beads, it just makes it really heavy with them being glass. But it makes a great keyring. I think this would be a really nice gift for somebody. Like I said, it's a bit bigger than my other strawberries that I've done in the past. So let's see, it actually measures about 2 inches long, maybe 1.25 inches wide. So yeah, it's quite a bit bigger than my other strawberries. Like I said, I'll leave a link for them down below. But I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Comment down below anything else you'd like to see. You can follow me on Instagram at Beading by Hannah. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Bye!